Welcome back, our Sleep Life podcast. And I am your host, Mel. And today we're doing a book club review, completely different than what we've ever done. This is literally the first book we've read in book club. I have book club members with me, so that way you can get all sorts of point of views about the book club itself. And if you're not on YouTube seeing what the book is that I'm showing right now and the new background, this is literally the first episode with the new background, so go check it out. But this book is the Let Them Theory book about, not about, but from Mel Robbins. So I'm happy I chose this as my first book because I needed it. I already was going through a lot of different changes, financially, physically, emotionally. So, like, I kind of put this on our path so that way I knew there was something to look forward to that I knew that could help me. And then I knew with our book club, we have two meetings a month. And then I made sure that like I was at the meetings talking about the book because that actually really helps my mental health. And it really helped last week's mental health for sure because it's on Tuesdays, which is therapy day. So sometimes it can be harder than the others. But I do have Heather and Cheryl and Shay in studio from book club. Say hi, everyone.
Am
Hey,
I
Cheryl,
back?
come back, girl.
Oh, the rural life, I'm telling y'all.
It's all good. I love it. So tell us a little bit about you joining book club.
I needed a community. I mean, I'm part of the bariatric community, but I still felt very disconnected. And so this was a smaller group. I felt like I could make friends easier, make connections easier. And it really has. We're not that large, but there's plenty of us that it's a variety of us. And I love it.
Oh, yeah. I
But
think
it
that's one of the things I like too is that we do have all sorts of different people, and there's not a lot of us right now. I mean, we would love for you to join if you're listening. It's patreon.com/OSLP. But we have a small group for a good reason because it really helps getting to know each other. And look, Heather's back.
Hi.
How's Heather in the book club stuff?
Oh, I love it. It's so much fun to hear other people's perspectives. And there's so many things that I'll think of that maybe somebody else didn't think of too. So
Yes.
it's cool to share from our different backgrounds because that's so valuable to learn different little things.
hmm I know. I love how like people will have hot takes on things and we'll have like back and forth discussion. I feel like Frank is always the like instigator of those somehow.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's awesome.
Yeah, so you guys, we have men in there. We have Dylan, which is
Mhm.
Shay's husband, and then we have good old Frank that loves to support us. And he's
Yes.
part of the Benchy group, which all these people are part of the Benchies as well. So like when you actually become a part of the book club, you automatically become a Benchy, which is
Yeah.
super cool because you get full support. You get to be in a Facebook group with all of us, and we share all the time. Ask any questions you want. So what did you guys think of starting with the let them theory? Were you good with that? Were you nervous?
I loved it. I have read some self-help books before, but this was so applicable for the stage of life I'm in now and so many circumstances. And really it hits on many different stages for different people in different ways. But I found so many reaffirming things within it, speaking to friendships and adult friendships, because that's something that as you get older, it is kind of new. And that's something that everyone has to navigate on some level. And navigating relationships with family members, extended family, it was a really great way to start and to dig in and get to know the people in the group too, because again, everybody's different perspectives, different life phases. I think we all got to learn from each other in that aspect.
Yeah, because I liked especially with the friendship part, because it is interesting making friendships as you get older, and then realizing that it's okay if you don't have any friends left from high school and middle school. I
Yes.
used to think there was something wrong with me, or I'm the problem, or I'm the person that's in the wrong because I don't have like a bunch of friends left from high school, but after reading the book, like no one really does, and that's okay. And she talks about proximity and timing,
And energy.
and energy.
Hmm.
So, and
Yes.
that actually makes way more sense to me now. I'm like, oh, okay. And the fact that some people are only meant to be in our world for like a season, a chapter, whatever, or the long haul. You just don't know right away. So,
Mhm.
Right.
That was one of the biggest things I took out of it too, because like I think it was just very validating hearing that adult friendships are hard, and like the way that she explained that of, you know, when we're in school, we see our friends every single day. And so it's very easy to stay connected, and you're on the same like trajectory in life. Like you're in the same grade, you're doing the same things. And I think that was just really helpful to go, oh yeah, like that makes a lot of sense. And it's kind of fun. I think that part stood out to a lot of us in the book club, and I feel like that's a common theme of what we've already talked about, is having that community and meeting new people and having new friendships, and so it's like, "Oh, this is fun."
I mean, I had a great time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, sharing and going through everything.
And just to call out a couple of statistics that struck me from the book that Mel Robbins said, it takes, I believe it was 72 hours to become an acquaintance and
Yeah.
200 hours to
Of,
become a
like,
close
spending
friend.
time together, right? Like,
Yes, yes, time
With a
together,
person.
spent
Mhm.
together on a one-on-one or in a group, but primarily one-on-one, and understanding how that time shifts as you get older. And obviously, we all have responsibilities and things we have to do, want to do, and saying yes to one thing also does mean saying no to other things, and that back and forth, and how do you balance that, but making that conscious choice is something I loved about the book, that it called out with the "let me" piece.
Yes, the let me part, because she doesn't talk about that when she's on her podcast and all the other things, which I get, because I think the let me is pretty crucial to us changing and evolving and realizing that it's okay to like not want to be around these people or be associated with some family members and literally just let them be. And to learn that you, one, don't try to control people, and two, um do exactly what you want to do,
mhm.
and
And
you'll
stop
find the
being the
right
victim
things.
in it, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I think it's very easy to go, "Oh, like, why didn't so and so invite me to that or do that?" And it's like, well, if I really wanted to go, I could have told them, or, like, I think that's been a helpful journey in friendships for me, of just not getting butthurt about things
Yes.
anymore, where it's like, hey, like they're probably doing the best that they can. I'm doing the best that I can. I want them to do well, and like I love them, and like we might just be in different seasons in life, but that doesn't mean that they're bad people or I'm a bad person. It's just it is what it is, and that's okay. And I haven't seen that a lot growing up. Like I feel like it's always been this big thing of like friendships falling out, or like people, not, just it being a big thing. And it's like, it doesn't have to be. It's nice. It doesn't have
I
to
like
be.
that she admitted her own faults in here.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
she was very brutal to herself, and I really, really responded to that. I was like, "Oh, okay, so she's not just telling us what to do.
Mhm.
She's also saying, hey, like, I would beat myself up, or I thought that, like, my friends were, like, being mean to me when really I haven't talked to them." Like, after she analyzes it, she's like, "Oh, yeah, I haven't messaged them in a while. Like, why would they invite me to go to these trips and stuff? I haven't been involved."
Yeah.
Which I've been there too, where I'm like, "Oh, they didn't invite me. Now I feel like shitty, and now I think something's wrong, and now I've done the whole spiral
Mhm.
where I'm like, I've
Yes.
gone through messages, emails, like, what did I do? What did I do? And like realizing after reading, it's actually not about you.
Mhm.
Yes.
It's about people.
It's true. What about you, Cheryl? What stood out to you? I know you had some good hot takes in our
You did.
meetings.
I unmuted her, so hopefully she can come on in. Didn't I? No, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, maybe Miss Cheryl can't speak right now.
She's speechless. The book left her
It left her
speechless.
speechless. I
It
get
was
it.
so
It's
good.
very, very moving.
So I'm curious, I would love to know what each of you rated the book. So like typically, I know Heather, you read quite a bit, so you probably already know this, but like typically with books, you rate them 1 to 5 stars
Okay,
is
1
like
to 5.
typical. On if you use Goodreads, they don't let you do a half star, which bothers me.
That's annoying.
Because I like doing half stars. But so in this case, we can do half stars if you want. But what did you guys rate the book and why?
Ooh, good question. Heather goes first.
All right, I would say a 5 because there were so many lessons and tidbits that I took from it that I've been able to apply to my own life and just come out a more calm, confident Heather.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. I would agree, a 5, total 5. And I don't like this is my first book in like years that I finished from cover to cover. Um, no, what are you doing? Oh, you're gonna
She's
go
gonna,
hang out with
yep,
Shane. Got
she's
it.
gonna give me some more back support.
I love it. Give her all the back support. Nothing. But I like that I was able to use stuff right away. Like the
Yeah.
5 4 3 2 1 theory that's in there.
She wants some
Um,
cares calcium chew.
calcium shoes are only for human. More.
Oh,
No.
so sad
There
now.
you go. Because the 5 4 3 2 1 I use right now. Like I do that with projects. I do that with just getting up out of bed, which is the what she started it off with, which is funny because I did not start it that way.
Yeah.
I was like, I like laying there. I can't just hop up, and nor do I want to. So I had to like figure out how am I going to use this theory to benefit me. And so now it works with literally working. Like even us doing stuff, I'm like, 5 4 3 2 1, let's go.
Did
Let's
you
be
use
on
it yesterday? When
I
we were
did.
together?
It
Yeah.
was a second. I'm starting to feel it. I was like, I am over this. Like, cause she does body checks. That's what Shay does. And I'm like, I can feel it in my bones. I'm so done. And I didn't want to get like mouthy with Shay at all with anything. So I was like,
I could tell you were fading.
I was fading when we were trying to anchor this damn thing. I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I'm like, and she's like, you want to anchor? I'm like, we're going to need an anchor. Because I know my ass, if I don't anchor this damn shelf, it's going to fall on me during an episode. And then I'm going to be more mad at myself. So I had to like talk to myself. And I did the 5 4 3 2 1 just for the shelf, just anchoring. Because I'm like, I'm over this.
And I was getting more excited as we were going because I'm like, I just want to get it done and like have it all be complete. So I was like, okay, Mel, you're like tap out.
I'm
You're
tapping
good.
out, tapping out. I mean, we were down here a lot yesterday, like
Mhm.
hours upon hours. So, and we would just do like spurts and then we would stop and spurts and stop. And I just got to my last spurt and I was like, no, I'm done.
Not even the 5 4 3 2 1 could.
Couldn't, no.
It could help at
couldn't.
that point. You're past the 5 4 3 2.
Yeah, my lower back was hurting. I was like, I needed to chill. I'm not normally painting all day and
We did a lot.
we did a lot. We did a lot. I knows. So I'm really thankful for even knowing what that tool is because that's not advertised by any means in this
Mhm.
book. Like you have no idea that's coming at you.
What about you, Cheryl? I saw you come on for a minute. I don't know if you're
Oh.
able to talk, but
Let's see what
we
Cheryl says. Sorry, ladies, but my service is not cooperating at all. I'm gonna have
Okay.
to back out. No,
No
worries,
worries.
girl. We love you, Cheryl. We'll see you probably later today, just on socials. Say bye.
Bye. Okay, well, do
Okay.
you want to know my rating? I kind of have a
do.
different take a little bit.
Oh, different.
Yeah.
take.
So my genre of like I love fiction. So self-help is already a little challenging for me as it is. And I think part of that is because I read a lot of self-help and I think that's what burnt me out on reading where it's like I don't think as humans we're designed just to read self-help all the time. That's like
I don't think
too much. So anyway, so with self-help I'm already kind of a little like it's a little tough for me. I will say, oh,
See, wasn't
That's
even
what
the
we-
shelf. Wasn't even. I love it. YouTube people are having so much fun with this one.
Oh, yeah.
On our cars off.
I know. But
It came off its own vacuum.
oh, did
That
it?
picture?
It fell.
Oh,
That
funny.
is so goofy.
There we go.
Does that look right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
looks good.
So self-help books are just hard.
Yeah,
for
so
you.
self-help books in general are just kind of hard for me, but I will say this book, the first half went really quick for me, which was
Yeah.
good. Like it's very conversational. But overall, I rated it like a 3 star, just for one, because self-help is just not my favorite to begin with. But also two, I think it was just very repetitive, which I think can be helpful for like, I think that can have its place and be helpful. For me though, when I read something, usually it's like, okay, I got it. Like I'm good. It doesn't have to be repeated for me to kind of like soak in the concept.
Yeah.
So that was a little hard, that it kind of felt a bit repetitive. And then the other part that I like Mel Robbins writing voice, it sounds really snarky to me. I don't know
Oh.
if anybody else feels like, but so that was also like, again, I think she just is really good at like tough love, but for me that doesn't resonate as well. I'm more mushy gushy. I like very fluffy kind of support, I guess, in that way. So I had a hard time with her writing voice a few different times. And then the only other thing that I will critique a bit is I feel like she did do a good job of bringing experts into the book, and sharing like quotes from them, and I thought that was great. But I think it's really important to know that like she herself is not an expert. She's not a psychologist. She's not a doctor. She's not a professional in that type of way. She's more kind of almost like us, right? Like real people sharing their stories and like the things that help. I just don't love how I feel like sometimes she comes across though like she is very like she is an expert or a professional in something, and I just feel like that can be a bit misleading. And so that's
Sure.
just the other thing I would caution when reading is that I do think she does a good job of getting sources and getting science to like back up what she's saying, but she's also not like a clinical professional. So some of the advice and stuff
Yeah.
she gave, I was kind of like, more so when it was coming to like parenting, and like she would use the word influence a lot, but I feel like some of the things she was describing felt like manipulation is what she was talking about. So I don't know.
Well, because influencing is manipulation.
I mean, I
It
guess
just
so,
really is.
right?
Yeah.
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 Like if you think about it, we're like in influencing, we're trying to get someone to do something that we want them to do,
Mhm.
but we're trying to do
Yeah.
it very nicely.
Yeah.
And in very like where you don't notice. We're trying to make sure you don't
Mhm.
realize what we're doing, which is very manipulative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's when I was reading that section that kind of threw me because I'm like, I don't know if we should be teaching people this part.
Yeah.
Like I think
Yeah.
we could have skipped that part, to be honest. I mean, I took advantage of that just because like being a content creator, you have to be an influencer. And I didn't know those two existed until I became part of the scene. And it feels kind of weird because you're like, I don't really want to do that.
Mhm.
But then you
Mhm.
realize, oh, just promote the shit that you use.
Yeah,
Like
that
Yeah.
that's the only way that you can get out of this alive and not feel icky about it is only promote the things and influence things that you will we actually use on a daily basis.
mhm.
Yeah.
Hence, like I got, Berry Melt on one side, we got ProCare on the other, Premiere right here, which I get to meet Premiere, so fingers
Oh,
crossed, lady.
cool. That's
Yeah.
I
awesome.
get to meet they're gonna get obesity help.
Oh, nice.
They're the
Oh,
number
yeah, they're
one
the
Nice.
sponsor.
sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
But yeah, so overall, I think I can totally understand why so many people have resonated with it. I do agree that there are really great concepts in there. I think it's definitely worth a read or a listen. And I think if it hadn't been for book club, I probably would have just skimmed more, but I did read it like cover to cover. But if I had just been reading it myself, I probably just would have picked out the pieces.
Yeah.
But I also think that's okay with self-help books, especially. Like I think sometimes people think that you have to read cover to cover, but you can just pick out what you want to. That's a little more challenging with fiction reads because
'Cause you
it's
can't
story
really pick out,
things.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Yes.
when it comes to self-help, like just pick and choose. I think that's okay. And I feel like this would have been a good book to do that with. If you feel intimidated about reading a book cover to cover, you could totally pick and choose stuff and read that.
I liked Frank's take where like he thinks everybody in high school should read this book.
Yes. Or
Yeah.
like at least to get the concepts.
Yeah, I thought was like that's actually brilliant because you could
Yes.
totally do like 6-week course in one of your. You could even just do this in a like economic class. Like I
Mhm.
don't even know
Yeah.
because I didn't have a reading class anymore. Like it was really just writing.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
English based.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it wasn't
Yeah.
called English anymore. You know, like when you get into like junior year, it's not English anymore. It's like,
Oh, really?
yeah, Lisa and McNary, it's like, oh, you're going to do creative writing or you're going to do language arts or
Oh.
one of those. It's not
We had reading all the
all the
way
way
in high
through.
school. I think that's also too why I didn't think I liked reading for a while after reading Frankenstein in like 6th grade. I'm like, oh, I hate this.
No.
So you
Yeah.
read fun books, I feel like a lot of times it was always like to get the big meaning behind things. It's like we should have read more fun books. But
I think it would have got people
Yes.
to read.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Heather, your thoughts, your takes?
Yeah. I thought that it was a great way to start the group, but going into reading fiction just as a point about the book club is so cool because we get to theorize together about what's going to happen. Because I'm a big fiction, like fantasy adventure reader. That's a lot of what I typically read. So it's fun to do that shift because the book club isn't just self-help. We are switching it up
Mhm.
with different genres, and I really like that ability because again, it gets us to know each other better and to kind of self-analyze in some regard too. Like we were talking in the last meeting about which characters do you resonate with? Which would you want to know in person? Who would you maybe get along best with? That was
And I
a
believe
really fun.
one of the questions was who would you smash and pass?
Yeah, we
I
did
Yeah.
do a
believe
whole on the characters of the first
and I
six
think
chapters.
Frank again was the one that started that.
He did. I mean, he started talking about it, and I was like, you want to smash the pass, mister? And then me and you still never answered that question.
I know we're keeping the mystery alive.
And
So yeah.
yeah, us three did not answer. There
Well,
was like 10 on the call, and 3 of us were like,
and just to kind
Nope.
of like give context and loop everybody in, so the second book we're reading right now is The Bones Beneath My Skin by TJ Klune. And TJ Klune, I just love him as an author. I think his books are considered more sci-fi in nature or kind of like magical realism, kind of going into fantasy a little bit. But he is able to take really challenging topics that are tough to talk about, and he presents them in very heartfelt, funny ways. And so I've read, this will be my third book of his that I've read. And
really? I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
And he is wonderful. A lot of his stories too have really cool like queer elements to them. So if that's something that you're wanting to explore more of, like all of his main characters that I've read, and I think all of his books have been queer and have like a
Oh.
queer love dynamic. So
That's good.
yeah,
Because it's very real.
yes, yeah. So and the other thing that I've learned too with his books, because the first one I read of his, I physically read. Second one was audio, and this third one I've been reading physically. I think his books are best done audio.
So far, I will agree
Mhm.
100%. So,
Yeah.
yes, Bones with Beneath My Skin is my first fiction, right? Fiction?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
First fiction book, to be honest with you. Everything's been pretty self-help or just like when I was a kid, like I don't think the VC Andrews and the Goosebumps, I mean, they count.
Yeah, that's fiction.
They
Yeah.
count, but
Yeah.
Goosebumps stories, those could have been derived
I mean, those are
from,
real.
I don't know, maybe.
Those are from real stuff that boils in your basement and comes up your stairs.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, like crazy.
Yes.
I do want to point out, like, the main reason why we started the book club was like one, I've always been wanting to be a reader. And I realized like we have more time on our hands than we actually think that we do.
Hmm.
And I know that I can broaden my like scope if I actually start reading more. And because I hear you guys talk about all the time of these books that you guys read, and even outside the community that people are reading, and I'm like, huh, I just listen to music and watch film all the time. Like maybe I can do something a little different. And I've really enjoyed switching it up and having something just different in my life. And then having
Yeah.
the community that follows in with it. Like I think with the new book, The Bones Beneath My Skin, I'm really happy we have the book club for it.
Yeah.
Because I liked the recap, and then I loved hearing everybody's different version of what they think's gonna happen
Mhm.
next. Cause like I really only wanted to go exactly where our pacing is. And so like I didn't know there's going to be some weird stuff that are happening. So I'm just like, oh, they're con people. They're like fucking with someone. Like, they're thieves or whatever, trying to figure it out. And there's like so much more
Yeah.
that's going to come.
Well, and the cool thing about reading, like I was the same way where for me, I have ADD, and so it can be really challenging to sit down and focus to read.
Yeah.
And I started reading more so after my bariatric surgery because I was the same way. I'm like, I love the idea of it, but it's like it was very challenging for me. And so I'm a newer reader where like I just have it really is like an exercise in building a different kind of muscle. And so like the first year I think I ended up reading, I started kind of like halfway through the year, and I think I got to 12 books.
Oh, wow.
And
Nice.
then last year I got to, I think I did 50 maybe. And then this year my goal is 65. So
Damn.
my point in saying that though is like the more you do it, just like with anything else, the easier it becomes. You learn what you enjoy. And I think a big part of reading too is it's a lot like dating. And I've given myself the permission that like if a book is just not connecting or resonating, I don't force myself to finish it. And there's even a term for that. It's called DNF, did not finish. And that's okay. So even with this book, this is your first kind of like jump into fiction, but this just might not be your thing, and that's okay. Like
we're gonna find out.
Yeah, I think you're gonna like spice. We were talking about maybe doing some spice books. I think you'll enjoy those. But I think that's the biggest thing that I just want to share with people is like if you try a book and it's just not connecting or resonating, like you don't have to finish. Try something different. And I mean, I've tried fantasy books, crime, horror, love and spice, fantasy, romance, like, and it's fun just to see what connects when. And I also have found even different seasons of the year
Will change it.
will change it. Yeah, I feel like my fantasy season is definitely more like the holidays, like Christmas, New Year's. And then I kind of will alternate between like kind of crime or scary horror and then more of like love story. And then I love having more of like a fiction or sci-fi kind of like a constant. So that's just the flow.
That's pretty cool. Did you notice that with yourself, Heather? Like different types
I
of books?
definitely need to alternate between genres. So if I read a self-help book, I have to follow up with something like fun fantasy, sci-fi, something that isn't so internally analytical.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a flow I've noticed in myself. Growing up, we had this program called Accelerated Reader in my school, and I don't know if anybody else had that, but you read books and you took a test afterwards for reading comprehension to make sure that you're retaining what you're actually reading. And I was the one who definitely went for like the bigger books. I went for the Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, The Chronicles of Narnia,
That's
Harry Potter,
amazing.
so that I could take one test and read one book per, we had trimesters. So I did a lot of fantasy, and growing up when I was very little, my parents would read to me. So I have a very strong basis in reading throughout my life. But as I've gotten older too, I've noticed that I do better with audiobooks. And I think it's that overachieving eldest daughter, millennial, like I'm on the go. I don't want to necessarily sit down and read a book. I want to be able to listen while I'm doing laundry, while I'm driving, if I'm working and doing a spreadsheet that's semi-mindless. I found that that helps me to stay engaged in the story, and physically doing something with my hands is important. So that's where just kind of the themes of reading in my life have followed. And I also wanted to bring up, I found something out really interesting about reading a physical book versus listening. It actually engages the same parts of your brain. So it is completely valid to still say, I read a book if you just listened on an audio version. So I know there's some debate in the reading community.
Yep.
Which way to go
I
that
don't
way?
know why I don't know why there's a debate on that. I feel the same way where it's like
Yeah.
whether you read it physically or listen to it, you're getting all of the same information. You can have a conversation with somebody about the book, whether you've listened to it or read it, unless you have a difficult time with one of those modalities where maybe like if
Right.
you physically don't retain it or vice versa. But I think that's so silly. I include all of my audiobooks in my Goodreads list of what I
Oh,
read.
good. You
So
should.
yeah, it
Yeah.
counts. It counts.
Well, because I people would say that that doesn't count, like, in my old circle,
Yeah.
that's was the thing, like, you have to actually have the physical book in hand. That's why you guys are seeing me still buying the books, like, and both all of mine stuff has been on audio. Only one I didn't do audio was the Let Them Theory.
Well, but you also said with this new
I
one,
had
you've
to.
been doing audio and reading.
Yep.
So, and I've heard other
Yes.
people that that's helpful too.
Well, yeah, because switching from a self-help book, I don't know why, but it was like it flowed way easier for
Yeah.
me than the new book. And the
Mhm.
new book was hard to like just sit down and read.
Hmm.
Like I was struggling and I was like, oh, and it didn't help that I also was trying to do it on the cruise, which I thought was going to be like perfect, planned, easy peasy. No, no.
Right.
I get interrupted all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I don't recommend that at all for anybody. When you start a book, make sure you're in a quiet area, at least the first hour or two of the book, because I think that's where
Yeah.
it's laying a lot of the groundwork. And I just kept getting interrupted.
Yeah.
So, and then I tried it again at home and I noticed my mind just kept wandering. So I was like, all right, we're going to do audio. And so me doing audio with me reading, oh my God, was like so impactful.
And I don't
Yeah.
know that this the because I typically or like I think moving forward, I might recommend that we do books that I've already read so I can kind of vet them a little bit better because I don't know that I would have recommended this one for newer readers because I don't it's a slower start and burn, but I'm glad everyone's seemingly like enjoying it. But
Yeah.
I'd love to be thinking of this for you, Heather, on what you would say. But the book that I would recommend for people, if you're kind of like Mel, a newer reader, don't know really what you like, Verity by Colleen Hoover. I think that's such a good one because you get a lot of everything in that book. You
Yeah.
get like it's very the pacing is phenomenal, like where it feels very fast when you're reading it. You get connected to the characters really quick. You have some mystery, you have crime, you have I would even call it a little bit of horror, but light, not like gruesome stuff or
Okay.
anything.
Well, I like gruesome.
Yeah. And you get some spice too, like romance kind of style. And so that would be my book recommendation. If you're like, I have no idea where to start, I feel like you can kind of from that book pick out certain things that you like and then kind of go from there. What would be your pick, Heather? Do you have one like that?
I do. It's a little longer, I'll admit, but it
That's
is
okay.
by far my favorite series I've ever read. It's The Passage by Justin Cronin, and there's 2 following
Ooh.
books. Um, it's a little bit of a thriller, a little bit of sci-fi, a little bit of mystery. There's a little bit of romance here and there. Definitely adventure, some great action. There's some conspiracy.
There we go.
It's so fun. There's different aspects to it just throughout the whole book and the series too. But that would by and far if you're just looking to get into it, but you're willing to attempt a longer book, that would be my recommendation.
Cool.
Okay.
And another thing to consider too is series versus standalone books because
Yeah.
what I've learned for me is series are very challenging for me. I really like being able to have a standalone book that I can start and finish all in one book. I have read some series, but for me, it's like it feels like a marathon. And even when I love the characters and I'm connected with them, series are hard, but I know you're a series girl, Heather. Like you love the series,
Yeah,
right?
depending on the
Yeah,
series, because there's always the
sure.
ones that start out really great and then they kind of peter off, and you
Yeah,
just feel like the author didn't quite do the injustice, and that's disappointing. I will
definitely.
always enjoy a one-off book. There's plenty where I'm like, oh man, I want more of that, but there is no more.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
So, since you two are pretty avid readers and you're in the book club. Is it okay if we do read a book that you guys have read before? Would that be still okay? Would you be still
Yes.
willing to be a part of it? Like,
Heather and I've
Yes.
talked a little bit
oh,
about this
really?
too, because she's given some really good recommendations, and I asked her the same thing. I'm like, "Is that okay?" And I feel fine with it because it's like, especially when they're books I love, I might like with if we did Verity just as an example, that was like the first book I read that got into reading. So that was like
Okay.
a few years ago, and I physically read it. I would love to go back and listen to the audio of it. I think would be really fun, and I would have fun talking with people about it because when I read it, I didn't talk with anybody
Yeah.
about it. So I would feel
Okay.
fine with that.
So you guys are totally chill with that.
Yeah, yeah, and there are books that I wouldn't necessarily read again, but they're not the ones I'm recommending to people. The ones I'm
Yeah.
recommending to people are ones I would be willing to read again.
Oh, good. Okay, because that
Yeah.
was definitely like I was concerned about because I come from really no background of book reading. I couldn't even tell you which one I think would be the best for you to read. And I know there's people in the book club too that aren't avid readers either. I think we're making Cheryl one.
Yeah,
Cheryl,
I
oh my God, she's gone.
Yeah.
that's how it kind of was for me too. It's like once I got into it, it was like, but yeah, no, Cheryl, she like I've been just like feeding her different recommendations. She's like, oh yeah, I did that. I'm done with that one. I need the next one. I'm like, oh my gosh, good
Yes.
job.
For those that are listening, Cheryl's already done with the book club for the book that's for the book club right now.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
literally have only done one meeting.
And one thing too, with the book club that I'll mention on how we do, because every book club is a bit different. We do it where we read one book every 2 months. So
Yeah.
we have 2 months to read it. At the beginning of a book, we give out a pacing guide. So that way you can really stick to it and know how much to read. And we break it out weekly. So that way you're like, okay, this is my weekly reading goal of how many pages or how many chapters. And then we include when we're doing the meetings. So we try to give it, just give people a guide, but it's not something you have to follow to a T.
Yeah, we have several people that are finished.
Yes.
Heather's finished too, I believe, right?
No, I'm not. But I
Yeah.
have to say that I love that there's no shame if you had an insane week or 2 weeks and didn't get to
No.
it. There's no shame in this book club. Like,
Mm-mm.
you can
No,
absolutely
people
be behind and still engage and still enjoy. So,
Well, because it's supposed to be fun, and I always hated that in school, how, like, it would be so shaming, but it's, like, for people like me, and I had undiagnosed ADD at the time, it was so hard for me, and I would look at other people and go, "How are they reading this much, this quickly?" Like, I just cannot do that, and I've worked that muscle, and I
mhm.
take medication to where it's helpful too,
Yeah.
but, and so, yeah, don't if you're like, "Oh gosh, I don't know if I'll be able to," and you were even a little nervous of that coming in of like, "I
I'm
don't know
still
if I'll,"
nervous.
but it's like if you it makes it a little more different with fiction because it's like we might give some spoilers, but I know people who are okay with that too. So it's like this is the section we're talking about. And if you didn't read to that point, we still want you to come to the meetings and have fun. Like even if you don't want to read the book and you just want to hear us talk about it, that's okay
There's
too.
a few that haven't even finished Let Them.
Yeah.
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 So, and then they just jumped right into the TJ Klune. So,
Mhm.
and they're
Mhm.
doing wonderful. So it's like, you can tell, I think like Frank, I can tell with him, he really likes the fiction.
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't
Yeah.
love the
He did the
him and I
self-help.
kind of were similar with
You
some of
were.
the things we said.
And I think with the new book, what I'm happy with is that like with now having the audio and the video, not video, the audio and
The video in your mind.
basically with the book, like I can really things and that's been helping. And I'm not going to go over the pacing guide just because I want to be up to tune by every meeting. So
Mhm.
that way I suck and I do not want to give out any spoilers
Uh-huh.
because I'm actually the person that hates spoilers. So Holly, if you're listening, I was very nervous when you posted in the group because I was like, wait, what happens to Art? Not even close, but I'm just going to assume that Art's okay. Like that's
Yeah.
what I'm going to do because I don't like spoilers.
Mhm.
I'm like very anti-spoilers. So
Yeah.
yeah, like I don't even watch trailers, guys, really to go into movies. Like,
Yeah, I get
that's how
that.
far I'm away from spoilers. And sometimes even with trailers, like yesterday, like Eric saw that movie. What was it? Weapons.
Mm.
And I went and looked at the trailer and I only watched like 45 seconds of it. Like it's really a 2-minute trailer. I'm like, nope.
Yeah, because you
Too
don't want to give
much.
it away.
Too much. I don't like knowing all the things.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like, I like being surprised, and I think in this generation, like, the surprises are gone.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, and can't we still enjoy it with these, like, books and movies and stuff where you don't have to know?
Yeah, that's what I try to do that too, and sometimes I have a hard time with, because I'll look at Goodread reviews, and I've mentioned Goodread a couple times just for those
Yeah.
who don't know what that is. It's an app done through Amazon, and I really love it because you can go and like look at reviews from people about different books and save them. So that way when you're like, "Oh, what do I want to read next?" you can go back and look and see all the ones that you've saved. And then you can also put in your reviews, and that's how I track how many books I read in a year. So
Yep.
for me it's like a fun
Mhm.
challenge. You can update your percentage of how much you've read so you kind of know how far into the book you are, but um and you can see what your friends are reading. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really fun. um where was I going with that? What was I saying? With the Goodread
With the spoilers.
reviews, though, I have a hard time sometimes because sometimes I'll read the reviews and they'll say if there's spoilers, but I feel like sometimes it taints the way that I go into the book. So I like
Yep.
it's
Yeah.
a balance, but then some of the reviews are helpful where I'm like, oh, like these are really low, and I just don't think I want to read it. So I don't know. What do you think about
Yeah,
that,
how do you
babe?
do it?
Yeah. I it's kind of hit or miss. I'll check out like the synopsis usually on Audible or whatever, or I'll go into Barnes and Noble and just start browsing, read the back just to get the synopsis. I try to avoid spoilers, but if I do get them, I still want to know how the characters got to this point, got to whatever
Yeah.
happens. And it's kind of similar to reading a book versus watching the movie based on the book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Lord of the Rings, for example, this is likely not a spoiler for anyone. There's a major character
No,
in the first book.
never watched them.
Yeah, there's a major character in the first book that is completely omitted in the movies. And I completely understand
Oh.
why, but at the same time, it makes reading the book pretty special. And it just makes it a different experience. So I feel like there's so much of that between books and movies where I usually like to read the book first. And
Okay,
as
I
a
do
kid, that
too.
was my rule. But now I'm getting to a point where, you know what? If I've seen the movie and oh, there is a book, I want to know like all the little details. What did they not include? So it's kind of the same when I'm looking for a book in general, where I try to avoid the spoilers, but if I do come across them, it doesn't completely taint the whole story for me.
That's good.
Yeah,
That doesn't hurt your experience. 'Cause that's really the deal is
right.
like, I just don't want my experience to be tainted. And
Sure.
so I even hate it when my cousins, I say them so much before we see a movie. They're like, it got 3 point blah, blah, blah on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know if it's going to be good, but give it a 7. And I'm like, this
Yeah.
is why I don't read those guys because like, it
I just
doesn't
won't look
matter.
up. Yeah.
Because like, I want to see it and I want to have my own opinion on it. And some of the
Yeah.
times I don't match. Actually, a lot of the times I don't match what Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
And it's just because
Yes.
I go in totally low expectations now. I don't ever go in with a high expectation of a movie. I'm like, all right, it's probably gonna suck, but you never know. And
Right.
half the time it's really
I
fun.
think that's just a good attitude to have.
Yeah.
You'll constantly be surprised and
Yep.
happy with the result.
100%. That's why I like don't I even with like la 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 don't tell me anything, please. Because they know. Like we'll be like, okay, we're gonna go see say like me and Dylan went and saw Nobody 2. And I forgot, like, I didn't watch any trailers for it, but the boys already knew, like, okay, this person comes in here at this time. This
Yeah.
person,
Ugh.
like,
You
it's
watch
gonna
the whole
die.
movie
And I'm like,
basically in the
you,
trailer.
yeah, I'm like, well, you already know all the specialty things. So then why waste your money and go see it? And then like, I don't know. It's just, and movies are expensive. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
no, I have to go in blind. Books are not that they're cheap, but they're kind of are expensive.
Yeah.
Because like even the lesson theory was like $15. But then if you want the audible, like that's another $10 to $15.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like you're putting your own money out, might as well get the things that you want out of it. And that's like
Yeah.
the one thing I like about book club is that no one's actually spoiled anything.
Yeah.
I was just
Mhm.
worried about Holly just because she was so far ahead.
Why I find like I want to read some reviews for books at least to know if it's worth it or not. And that's what can be a challenge though. Cause like I don't know if you found this, Heather, but it seems like all horror books are rated like like three to 3.5 stars. It's very hard to find, unless it's Stephen King, I should
Yes.
say that. Stephen King,
Yes.
everybody loves. But like anybody who's not Stephen King, who's horror, it's very hard to find a high rated horror. But do you think that's just because it doesn't appeal to like as many people and so as many people aren't rating it highly? What are your thoughts on that, Heather?
I think part of it is exposure because there's
Uh-huh.
so many authors out there and there's different styles and so many people are used to the Stephen King formula. And nothing
Mm-hmm.
wrong with that whatsoever. But if there's any deviation from the usual expected, people
Uh-huh.
tend to shy away from that in some ways. And so I think that's a way that, maybe they are ranking it a little bit lower. But, there's something for
Yeah.
everyone, and not everything has to be for everyone. That's one thing I like
Yes.
about
Yes.
books is the audience can be different and that's okay. The
And there's
stories
enough
are
to
going to
go around.
resonate differently.
Yeah.
And so maybe with the horror, just because it is semi niche, there's a
Mm-hmm.
line, and where do we draw that line? That could be a reason for that 3.53 star range.
Yeah.
Do they get gory? Because like that's the deal. Is like
Some do, some don't. They're also
Yeah.
different. But I think that's another good tip, like for people who are listening. If you are a newer reader and you don't really know what you like or what you want, Goodreads is kind of nice for that way to get more of like you're gonna get a wider variety or a kind of a bigger population of people who are rating books.
yeah.
So you
Yeah.
can kind of see what people generally like. And then what I've learned in that is typically I do like a lot of the ones that everybody typically likes. But there are some niches that I'm finding, ooh, I kind of like this or that or the other. And so with those, I take those reviews with a grain of salt because it's like, okay, not everybody will like that kind
Yeah.
of thing. So
Yeah.
just another.
Do you like Stephen King?
I do.
I
Is co-pod to talk about?
no, I know Heather does. I
Yeah.
have not been able to get through a Stephen King book as of yet. I have tried.
Wow.
I have tried The Shining. I have tried It. I've tried both physical and audio. I've tried some of his other like more standalone, or I guess a lot of them are standalone, like smaller books.
Yeah.
I can't, I'm blanking on the name, but for
Sure.
me, he is very chatty and it annoys me. I'm like, dude, get to the point. Like, what are you trying to say? It's very clear he is just like coked up for most of this. It's like, dude, what are
Yeah.
you trying to right now?
Because
But
coked up people are very chatty.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I love his universe. I love any of the movies I've seen that have been adaptations, any of the series. I love it. But the books have been hard. But Heather, we've talked a little bit about this, but not like in person. So
Yeah.
Might wanna
So
know.
you like him. Yeah.
I will say I read The Stand, and that was so good. I would highly recommend that one.
Okay.
And Fairy Tale is like my favorite Stephen King book.
Oh, yeah.
I talked with Shay about this, but he wrote it over the pandemic. He challenged himself to actually write a fantasy story, and it's definitely got some horror aspect
Maybe
to it,
not
some
as much
thriller
cocaine
aspect.
because he's older now.
Can you say that again?
Oh, sorry. I said, and maybe not as much cocaine because he's
Y-
older now. So
Not
maybe
as
that helps
not as
too.
much, but I've also attempted to read Doctor Sleep because, the next in the series of The Shining. I could not get through that.
Hmm.
It got to a really, really gory scene with like a decaying body and flies, and it was too much. And I'm like, nope, I'm done with this one. Moving on. So it depends on the book.
Yeah,
Depends on the
and
book.
one thing I will say, and correct me if I'm wrong because I haven't gotten through a Stephen King book, Heather,
Yeah.
but like he does have a lot of like animal cruelty in his stuff, right? Like as kind of symbolism. Is that accurate?
He can. I don't remember any in The Stand. And there's
It's probably why you liked it.
I know, because that's one thing. Like I'm cool with like dead people, dead animals. That really is hard for me
Yeah,
to get.
I get that. I get that. There was definitely some death and again the decaying body in Doctor Sleep that I couldn't get into. I think a part
Mhm.
of it is his writing style that he's so overly descriptive in for some people. But yeah, I don't remember any in The Stand and I don't remember any in Fairy Tale, but
Isn't there an
there
actual
was
book that's the cemetery of, and there's just a
Oh,
bunch of
Pet
animals?
Cemetery.
Pet
Pet
Cemetery. There's a
Cemetery. I
yeah.
haven't read that one, and I probably won't. But yeah, I like
I
more of
just
his
don't
stuff
like that.
that's
It's like
got
kill people, don't kill animals. Like that. I don't know. That's how
yeah.
I feel.
I have a different take on that. Like, I actually don't. This sounds real bad. I don't mind animals dying if there's a real reason for it, and also if as long as it's not a dog or a cat, I don't give a fuck what's dying.
Mhm.
Like, if your gerbil's dying, not gonna care.
Yeah.
Sorry, your lizard's gone. Whoopsie daisies. Like snake had to kill it. Okay, like
Uh-huh.
it's really if it's a dog or cat, that's what definitely bothers me. But
Yeah.
if there's a reason and it keeps moving the story,
Mhm.
then I'm fine with it because we all know a lot of psychos start with fucking
That's
with
true.
animals.
Yeah.
Like that's a whole
Yeah.
psychological thing that happens, and especially with boys. And I remember Dylan being in that age group, being like, "You fucking better not be touching any animals." Like you watch those little boys at that age, like, "Oh, what are you doing? Want to make sure," because that's
Mhm.
literally where it starts. So I'm
Yeah.
like, and then once you get any inklings of it, you're like scared. Like I know I'm not gonna say names because that would be really rude, but in my extended family, there is a child right now that's going through that where their parents are finding them like killing mice and animals and not like big animals, but
Yeah.
little
That's
things.
how it starts
But that's how it
sometimes.
starts.
Yeah.
That's
And I'm like,
tough.
and it's not like anything journey, no one's a taxidermist in the family, so
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's coming.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, you guys just accidentally built a little psycho. That's fine.
Mhm.
Like it happens
Yeah.
right now. Like,
Yeah.
if that's a big key. Any parents listening, if your kids touch animals in wrong ways, you need to go get them checked immediately.
Mhm.
It's just a sign of like that empathy is just gone.
Mhm.
Because most people
Yeah.
don't fuck with animals.
Yeah. Speaking of that too, I will lead this into a book. I didn't end up finishing it because I it was a little slow for me. But there was this lady, and I'm forgetting her name, but she wrote a book called Sociopath, and she says she's a sociopath, which a lot of killers are, but she's not. But she lives like a normal life, and she talks
Ah,
about that. Have you read that one, Heather? Heard of that person?
No. No, I was
that's
just gonna look
interesting.
up who that
I feel like you
was.
might find that interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited because I know with the book club, what's nice is like we all vote on the books and
Mhm.
whatever. So like, how do you think we should handle the next book like turnaround? Should we put a
Well,
bunch
I
out there?
I
Like,
kind of already started a
oh,
little
did
bit,
you?
and
Okay,
I've been
cool.
talking with Heather a little bit too, because she's given me some good ideas. So I have this document that I built out, and because well, Halloween is my favorite
I was gonna say
holiday.
we start so like she said earlier, it's every 2 months. So we'll be done
Mhm.
with the bones beneath my skin, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
By October 1st.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
So
Yeah.
we'll start October with a good.
yeah,
I want it to be like a scary kind
yeah.
to be honest
So
with you.
I created like different categories, and I named them some fun things I can't remember right now. I can look it up too, but and I put like 3 books per category so
Oh,
we can
nice.
kind of look. But like as we're talking, I do like I have you read Verity, Heather?
No.
Oh,
I feel like that would actually be a really good one. So I might add
for
that
Halloween
in.
time or
Yes,
after?
for Halloween time because it is there are it's like mystery, scary, not super like gory though, which I know you like, but we could get you other books for that. But I'm just thinking it'll be like a very palatable one that a lot of people like. And they're in the process of making a movie for it that'll come out next October, which is kind of fun.
Oh, that'd be
So,
fun. So where we read the book in October, and then
mhm.
we should like get a bunch of book club people together and
Yeah,
go watch the.
that's what I was thinking. But I'll still put out like a different descriptions and kind of what each book is that I was thinking about. And then one of the categories though are Heather's picks. So
She has her own section.
yeah. I'll pull it up just
Let's go.
so you can know the categories that I'm working with.
That is
Yeah.
so fun.
Yeah, because my Audible library is robust.
I know it's hard to pick. Like I like
know.
that we're doing 2 months, and I think it gives people a good chance. But I'm like, we're gonna have books for years
Yep.
because like
Yeah.
Because I would love to get it down to once a month, but I know me personally, I just can't.
Yeah.
that's
It's
okay.
just not that's not feasible. But 2 months, I can do it, and it's been proven. I did it once.
Yes.
Once you do it, you can always like duplicate it and call it good. So
Yes.
All right, do you want to hear the categories?
yes, what are the
Okay.
categories?
So we have a witchy and cozy shelf. So if we want to go
Ooh.
kind of more, there's like a whole subgenre of witch stuff, which is fun. Pee your pants scary.
Pee your
Ooh.
pants scary. Okay, at first I thought you said Peter Pan scary.
I mean, maybe. And then spooky but sip your tea shelf. So like it's kind
Ooh.
of spooky, but like not to where you're gonna be like, ah.
Okay, I want to be
Mhm.
shocked.
And then I have crimey and creepy shelf.
Ooh, I like criming. Creepy.
Nice.
And then I have Heather's faves shelf.
Yes.
So I think I'll add Verity to the because a lot of these have either 2 or 3 recommendations.
Sure.
And I think I'll add Verity to the spooky but sip your tea shelf one because it is spooky but not like Peter Pan. But I will say in that book, and this is a common thing I've heard from a lot of people, there is legitimately a jump scare in the book, which
Oh,
is
good.
so hard to do. Sorry,
Yes.
so hard to do. So hard.
Yes.
That's interesting.
So that's why I'm thinking I think that's
I
maybe
didn't
where I would
realize-
steer the group, but we'll see.
I guess I just didn't realize it would be hard. to
That's
do it.
why I've had a hard time finding horror books that actually scare me because so much adds to the atmosphere of being scared. It's like it's the music, it's
Mhm.
the visual face expressions, like it's a lot of things that add to it. So when you remove all of that and you're literally just reading, and I have a pretty good imagination, like I can imagine things, but it's almost like more sterile feeling and not so visceral. Do you agree with
Yeah.
that, Heather, or have you found books that have really scared you?
I have not found a book that really scared me yet. There are themes like we'll just say monster movies as a subject. Like I will read something and then I'll have to take the trash out and it's dark out and I'll be like, oh shoot, that monster from this book is totally gonna pop out and get me. And I am very concerned in this moment. I'm going to run my butt in the house. So-
That's good though. I haven't found a book where I've felt like that and I want to. What do you think contributes to that? Is it like that it's very descriptive? Is it the scene? Like what contributes to that?
I think it is a combination of the scene that's being set, because if I find myself in similar circumstances, like say there's somebody in an
Right.
alleyway or something, I'm like, oh shoot, the alleyway's right over there. Or if it's the descriptive, like very clear about what the author thinks, and you can guess pretty closely to what they think it is. That's really fun. I know I've read
Okay.
books, The Passage, for example, that they actually made a first season out of, and because it was on network TV, it didn't go any further. Sci-fi shows typically don't go very
wow.
far on network TV. It's got to be the HBO, the FX, whatever.
Yeah. Because they need to be allowed to do a lot of that description work. They need to be
Yes.
able to show it to you. And
Yes.
network TV just doesn't do
A
that
lot of
by
times
any
it
means.
doesn't. And so the monsters in the passage were very well described, but there was still definitely room for guessing. And I had this idea in my head,
Right.
and then at some point the author released an image of what they were thinking, an illustration. And it was so cool because there were ways and parts that I was thinking really right on, but then there were changes and I'm like, "Oh,
Cool.
interesting." And that lends itself to characters in general. Like it's fun to have this image of what I think a character looks like,
Mhm.
but that definitely is a factor in the scary books. So it's
Yeah.
hard to find when I'm reading actually being scared, but then if I'm in a circumstance where I'm like, "Oh, this creature, if it were real, I would really be in trouble right now."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's why like I love just scary movies in general because like it does take a lot for one for them to scare me, but once they
Yeah,
got me, they got me.
Right.
right.
And then I will, like you said, like, oh shit, like, especially for me, it's the basement because like I'm not
Yes.
really
Your
down a lot.
well, your basement is
Mhm.
her basement is a little creepy.
Is it a little creepy? I mean, it's a big basement too, so it's also like it covers literally the whole house.
There's definitely
Yeah.
some energy
Oh,
down
there
here.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually can't wait for Eric to stay here because he wants to go ghost hunting, but he doesn't believe in
Just
ghosts.
go to your house.
And I'm
Yep.
like, how does that? I was like, what are you gonna do if something happens? He goes, silly, they're not real. And I'm like, you're about to walk into a haunted house, kind of. Like my house has spirits in it.
Yeah, but it's not I'm like really sensitive to stuff like that. Like I just pick up on it. And the first time I stayed at Mel's house, I was like, yeah, like there is some, and so it's her uncle, and we're getting to know each other more. Like we're cool. He's very nice, but it's still creepy because he's a very big presence. Like normally I haven't ever had a presence like that be so strong towards me where I'm like, whoa, like I can sense he's like right there. Like, so
Mhm.
not right now. I don't know
Well,
where he
because
is right now,
he
but
lived in that room.
yeah.
So there's two rooms he's lived in. He lived in the one that Dylan's in right now,
Uh,
and then he's lived in the one that you're in right now.
mhm.
So like
Yeah.
that's the deal.
I think
He
it's
lived in this house like
yeah.
thoroughly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even you said that she could feel him in the garage.
Mhm.
And she's like, it's weird. It's not like the whole garage, it's just this area.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, yeah,
Mhm.
because that's where he sat and watched his
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah.
Like he
Right?
legit sat right. The TV was across, and that's what she's talking about. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God, this is so wild.
Well, it's funny because like last night, that's where I was sleeping with the dogs and stuff. Because Mel was asking me this morning if I sensed him at all, and I was like, yeah. Like at one point, I was going back to sleep, and it's almost this feeling of like I feel like I'm almost intruding, kind of like
Oh,
I was
really?
thinking more about it. Yeah, like I feel
Mhm.
like not like he's being mean or rude. It's almost like if you were to go into somebody else's hotel room by
Oh.
mistake and they were to come in and you'd be like, oh shoot, like I'm sorry, I didn't know. Like
You're
I
like,
thought
wait.
this was my
Yeah.
hotel room. That's what it feels like. But I feel like maybe like once we get to know each other more, he'll be like,
He's probably like, are you moving into my space?
yeah.
You're not Dylan.
Oh, yeah, I'm totally
Like,
he doesn't really know me
he's
yet.
like,
Which I
who is
totally get
this?
that. That's fair.
Because he doesn't know you from Adam. Most of the people that's ever been in this house are people
Our
that
family.
family,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
old friends. Like Kelly and Zach know Uncle Charles.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
And we
Mhm.
haven't
So-
met as humans
No.
or, when
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
was alive. So, but
not in the living
But
space.
but again, he doesn't feel like it's more. He just, I think, is very protective of you guys, which is cool. Like I think
Mhm.
that's cool, and he
Yeah.
doesn't really know me yet, but I think
No.
we're working on it. Me and Uncle Charles.
I think
We're getting
so.
to know each other.
I love it. And that's the stuff that like will get me is this basement is where like if I watch a show where something happens in the basement, then now for a little while I'm like tiptoeing in
Yes.
the basement.
You
Around.
like if you pictured a basement that you would read about or like or watch a movie, like that's Mel's basement.
is.
It's like this basement 101, like stereotypical basement.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And it can be very scary, especially because we have like there's a light for the front area, there's a light for the back area. So like you could just have one on or both off or whatever. And some of the times when I have those scary nights, Dylan's not here, so it's even
Yeah.
worse. And so I'm like, all right, so what I do is I'll go down there and then like I turn everything off from like the back end forward.
Yeah.
So then like I'm never in the dark.
Uh-huh.
And
Yes.
then I go up the stairs.
But I have felt very like negative energies and very like that are very like wanting to harm energies. I don't feel like that here. It's just there's a lot of activity, it feels like.
Mm.
So it's kind of unsettling and creepy because it's not like not every space is like that, but it's not like a dark energy. And
That's
because I
always
have
good.
felt that before, and that's not what this is to me. I
Nice.
see. Yeah.
Well,
It's
that's
just a
Yeah.
lot of activity, which is unsettling when you're not used to that.
what do you mean by activity, I guess?
Like there's just it's like I don't know if it's just Uncle Charles or if there's other like energies or spirits that are present from before. I haven't really felt any other contact from anybody except Uncle Charles and that energy and presence, but like I don't know if it's a very
He's
like
just active with you.
yeah,
Like,
and it could be other people too though that I don't or other like spirits or whatever
yeah.
that I haven't come in contact with. It's just it's like a different like you know when you go up in elevation and you're like whoa it feels
Oh, yeah.
different but it's like you can't really explain that's sort of what it's like
Okay.
it's like a change in elevation is sort of similar where it's like it just feels different down here than it does out in the world and other places.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. This house was built in 1937.
Hmm.
I'm sure Uncle Charles was not the only one that passed here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like that's how I see it. People get really scared about that stuff, and I'm like, if you think about it, in the whole world, where is there a
Yeah.
spot that someone didn't pass?
well my
You know,
Right.
like,
our house maybe
well, maybe not in your house, but on the land.
I don't know.
See, that's what I was like, because there's so
Yeah.
many
It wasn't.
different.
It was a cow farm at one point.
Oh, so just animals. Maybe that's why
Mhm.
you're very sensitive.
I think so. Yeah, because I'm like I haven't felt anything in my house like that.
Yeah.
Like it feels like new. You know how like some people feel new too. Like
Oh,
oh, this
yeah.
is your first
Yeah.
time around.
Well, like, that's what you said about me. You're like, this is your first time. And then who's like, I think it's Rob. It's like, he's been here a few times.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, you can tell.
Are you into that stuff, Heather, at all? Like into energy spirits kind of stuff?
Yeah, yeah. And I've actually, speaking of Eric, I've talked to him about this, but at my parents' house, it was family land, but prior to it being family land, because my family was one of the first in town to have like ponies and whatever, uh,
Wow.
there were Native Americans across the road, and there's documentation of this. They actually invited the Native Americans over once they established to kind of make friends, make peace, like, you're good, we're good, okay. But I found arrowheads. I have felt a presence in my parents' basement, and they built the house in 2000, and we had another family stay with us for a little while, and the little boy said, "Oh, have you seen the alligator man?" And there's documentation of Native Americans wearing like alligator headdresses.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, oh my gosh, I've totally felt that, but I've never seen it. And
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, there's a lot of that. My grandmother used to work in a nursing home, and we have many old relatives, and there would be things that they would have from past family, whatever, and some of it ended up in her house. She had a photo album, and she's seen faces in the middle of the night. I felt presences, and then I said, "You know what? That was uncomfortable. Let's put that in the garage," and we didn't have that experience again. So
Oh,
it's
cool.
very interesting how things are tied to physical objects
Objects.
too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
And
the
places, like
and
physical
places,
locations.
the
too.
land, even if you build a new house on it,
Yeah.
yeah, it's wild. And I got to
Mhm.
go over to Europe when I was in high school, and walking into buildings that had been around since like the 1400s, I was like, oh, I can just feel the history. You could just
It's
feel it.
different.
It was different. Yeah. Yeah.
Wild.
So it's wild,
I
but
felt that even
I
just in
get it.
DC.
Yeah,
I felt
yeah.
that in
Yeah.
DC immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Any place we went to, like it was actually really beautiful to watch Kelly get into it because she's not a history buff, and
Yeah.
I love history. And taking her to spots, she was like, when she would touch something, she's like, "It feels wild." And I'm like, "Yeah, girl,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
it
Makes it come alive.
does," because I'm like, this has been here for thousands of years, depending on what we're looking at. I'm like, and you can feel the energy. It's not the same.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe they're not aren't traditional ghosts like what we think they are, but like there's definitely energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many energies I can feel. I'm like, oh, okay, good to know.
Stonehenge
I'm
is a
loving this
big
one, not like
one.
that one.
Yeah, Stonehenge is
What
a
was
big
that?
one.
Stonehenge.
Stonehenge.
Mhm.
Going there, it was the most wild experience because here's this incredible structure of stones that have been there for thousands of years. I don't think we really know how long it's been there. And all around is currently working fields. There's tractors way out in the distance, but it feels like this spot is just set in time. Like time has stopped
Yeah.
in this spot. And it's just insane. And I felt that feeling a few other places in my life, but that was wild. And I love when a book can kind of do that for you too.
Yes.
But it's rare. It's
Uh-huh.
hard to really convey
Yes.
that. But
Through
yeah,
a book.
that's really cool. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, what are your guys' take on this? Like, so with books, like, are you guys one of those, and I'll love you even if you are,
Uh-oh.
are you the ones like, well, the book was better. The book's better.
Oh, then
I
the
fucking hate
movie?
that line. Yes. And I only say I hate that line because of course the book's gonna be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because one, it's like hours upon hours that they can't put in the movie or slash TV series.
Mhm.
Two, you're using your own imagination. So
Yeah.
there's no way it can be up to par of what you want it to be. So like that's like just for me, it's like duh. Like
Yeah.
of course it's not going to
Yeah.
be. But like do you guys get mad if it's not the same? Do you like still want to see the movies? Like how do you feel about that?
I don't ever go in with expectations that books or I'm sorry, that movies or shows are gonna be as good or like the book. So I'm kind of with you where it's like, well, yeah, duh. Like,
Yeah.
but I think going in that way, it's cool because then I'll watch movies or series and I'm like, whoa, that was like really closely tied to the book, or they did a really good
Mhm.
job because it's really I imagine it's very challenging getting a book and writing a screenplay, especially I feel like with like more of those fantasy books and like that would I like that's crazy. Um so and honestly actually when I just read a book, like I just am going through the Silence of the Lambs series. And so I read the first two of that one. And then after I've been done, I've watched the movie. And I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, this is really good. And those are really true to the book, I feel like. But it's almost kind of like it's nice to have it be a little bit different
Yeah.
to me, because it's like it's a little like I just read this. Like it's kind of nice if it is a little different, I feel
Yeah,
like.
and you have to think like the director is not the writer. So when it's
And the
a
screenplay
screenplay
writer isn't
is
the
Yeah.
writer.
right.
Mm.
So it's like if you don't have I can't remember her name, the one that did all the Harry
Twilight.
Potters.
Oh, J.K.
Because she had
Rowling.
full control, at least for the first
Yeah.
few books
Oh,
or for the first few movies
um,
of like, you can't do this, you got to do that. Da, 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 da.
mhm,
Like, I would have been more like her if I wrote a book and wanted it to be a movie. It's like, I would want to be with the director
mhm,
because I would just want to see what I wrote on screen and
mhm.
in the
Mhm.
masses for people to be able to see it. I think it would actually probably bother me more as an author than it would be just as a spectator. I'd be like, it's
Yeah.
okay as a spectator, but as a writer in me, I'd be like,
A lot of writers are
gotcha.
like that. But again, if that's what gives more people like if it gives you more exposure with your story and then it'll have them read it, like that's where because I'm in the process of writing a book and I feel very like if that's the case or if my publisher or editor wants to change things, I would be okay with that. But
Yeah,
not many people are like that
I
with
was gonna
because
say,
yeah.
you're very open to stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You have to
Well,
be.
you're open to
I like to
change.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your answer, Heather? With books and
I think it's really important to enjoy things for what they are, and I think that's so
Mhm.
transmissible for so many things in life. Like,
Yes,
enjoy people
it's
for
so
what they
true.
are, enjoy books, movies. If there's something that's loosely based or based on something, understand that it's not going to be exactly the way you expect it to be every time. There's a lot of people who are disappointed with like Game of Thrones. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
that's fine. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, but I enjoyed the journey that we got to take. I enjoyed the
Yeah.
the work that they put in. Um, The Hobbit. There's a lot of hardcore Tolkien fans who are very upset that it was 3 movies. Did it need to be 3 movies? Maybe, maybe not. But enjoy it
I
for
like the
what it
second one at
is.
least.
Yeah. But
It's the dragon. The dragon fucking got me.
Mhm.
it's a
Like, I
wyvern.
love the dragon.
Mel, it's a wyvern. House of the Dragon,
Yeah,
they're wyverns.
fantasy.
I don't even.
So I just learned. I'm very new with fantasy stuff. Dude. Like when the first fantasy book, Heather, that I read was A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is a very like intro into fantasy, and you might make fun of me for that. But when they were coming in with like fae and fairies, I'm like picturing Tinkerbell. So I'm like, yeah,
No,
Yeah.
they're different.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
very
so,
different.
But I did learn because I read Fourth Wing. So dragons are let me see if Heather, you're gonna correct me on this. This is like a little quiz though. So
Yeah.
dragons are like traditional dragons that you picture with wings and they have legs.
Yeah.
And wyverns have tail. They're more like snake-like. Is that appropriate? How
So
would
the
you describe?
difference is dragons classically have front legs that are separate from their wings.
Yes.
Wyverns,
Yes.
their wings and
Dragon
their
and
front arms are attached. It is one piece, one appendage on either side. Whereas dragons, it's separate. You think of a dog with wings or a cat with wings.
Got
Now
it.
you've got
So that's what it
European
was for
dragons.
Hobbit?
So in The Hobbit, in the first movie or the first half of the second movie, they started out with Smaug as a dragon and then switched to the wyvern because of Tolkien's original drawings. But they call them
Ah,
dragons. So
got it.
there's some
That
different
makes
lore behind it. But you have the European dragons, which are your typical what you think of as like the 4 legs and the wings, and then you have the East Asia version where it is more snake-like. So there's different
Mhm.
versions
oh, so each
depending on
culture
the
kind of has its
culture.
own rule. Yeah.
And I actually have a large dragon tattoo, and I did a lot of digging into what I wanted that to look like because I designed it with my artist. And that
So
was a
cool.
journey because I've
Wow.
read books about dragons most of my life. And it's very interesting to see the history behind the designs too, which is really, really cool.
Mhm.
But Game of
Where
Thrones,
is it?
On your
it's
On
on
your
my
body.
thigh. It's on my thigh.
so cool.
Yeah, I'll have
Nice.
to share a
Nice.
picture of it. But
Yeah.
I want to see.
We're going to
yeah,
put it up for this episode. They
there we go.
reach to an hour minutes. They'll understand why there's a dragon tattoo going
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. So,
Love it.
yeah,
So
so
good
it's really
because
cool.
with The Hobbit, the reason why I liked the second, well, really once I introduced him, I just love the CGI on that fucking dragon because it
Yeah.
looked real.
Oh,
It
yeah.
looked like you could eat it and he would eat you and like put fire all over you, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh fuck, this is insane. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't imagine what it was like in the movies, not the movies, the books. So
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
were really good descriptives like that.
Yes, Tolkien is
Yeah.
known for being not, I would say maybe not as far descriptive as Stephen King, but he
I
could
got
go
a
on
little
10
farther in
pages
the
about a
Hobbit than I
tree.
did like Stephen King's books.
Oh,
Yeah, if he could go on for 10 pages about a tree if he really wanted to. Like that's
Yes.
Tolkien. He's a show over tell. Like he's gonna
okay.
he's gonna explain every little detail and you're gonna have an exact image in your mind. Whereas some of them are like, okay, there's a lot of room for guessing here. So
Mhm.
yeah,
I kind of feel that way
fun.
with the new book. I feel like there's a lot of guessing
Yeah, it's not as
so far.
descriptive. And so those
Mhm.
are the things though that are fun that you kind of learn as you go of like you might like that writing style better that is more descriptive or not, it's like and then I've heard people say that they don't like when people describe like characters and what they look like because they like to imagine it themselves. So everyone's just different.
I mean, I just like taking the words that the author puts there and just see what I can come up with.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And then I would like how Heather did, like some of these are actually similar to what you actually thought in your head. And then that's exciting because you're like, yeah, I
I
got
got
it
it
right. They
right.
described it right. Fuck yeah, let's go. I love it. Well, is there, being you guys are members of the club and Shay helping like put on the club, like what are you guys looking forward to the most going forward?
You can go first, Heather, if you want.
I think I'm looking forward to getting out of my usual genres and the ability to discuss as I'm experiencing these books. I love the pacing guide because it gives me kind of a mile marker to hit, but then we get to dig in and really get to discuss further. There's books that I've read where I'm like, oh, I want so badly to talk to someone about this. This was such a cool part, or this thing happened and I don't know if I quite got it. So I really love the discussion part of that book club, but I'm excited to branch out of my typical genres. Like the TJ Kuhn book that we're reading right now is not necessarily just from looking at the cover, like the quick synopsis of the back, like maybe not necessarily a book I'd choose to pick up. But I'm giving it a
Mhm.
shot and I've got an outlet to be able to talk with people about it, and I just love that aspect.
Oh, I like that.
That's awesome. I think for me, I was kind of nervous about co-running the book club with Mel just because I had never even been part of a book club. And so I didn't know kind of how to go with it. But I think that's been kind of helpful because we've just all made it what we want it
Yeah.
to be.
Mhm.
And so I'm just so excited to share like my love for reading, my love for books. And also, I'm hoping because we have a private Facebook group too that when you sign up, you're a part of. And I'm trying to share more like challenges and tips for reading because those are the things that were really helpful or would have been helpful for me as I was starting. And so I'm just excited to like Cheryl's a great example of like she was like, oh, like I just don't read much. And just to see that like spark kind of
Yeah.
start of like she loves it now, like that is just so rewarding and fun. And I of course love like the book club itself of getting to see people and talk about it. But I think that's what I've been enjoying with like co-leading is seeing almost like a teacher or how I imagine a teacher would feel, right? Of like people that just get really jazzed about different things. They're like, oh, that's so cool. That's been really,
Yeah.
really fun.
I would say that's my favorite part is
Mm.
watching people get excited. Having like the last book club, literally guys, we had it on Tuesday and we're recording on Sunday. So what's funny is that like Leisha,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
Leisha and Holly going back and
So
forth
fun.
of like when they said this and what that meant. And I love Holly being like, I'm not trying to correct you, but this is when this happened. And this is probably
Mhm.
what this means.
At least she's
And I'm
like,
like,
no, no.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
really cute.
I was like, it was so good because like it was literally just listening to perspectives. And then I'm like sitting there and going like, oh, I didn't even think about it that way.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it could be this way. Oh, like these people could be aliens. I have no idea what these
Yeah.
like these people are because we haven't gotten to that part yet. So I'm like, oh, this is pretty freaking cool. And just seeing everybody show up
Yeah.
and talk about it and there's not really a quiet person on at all,
Mm-mm.
No.
which really really helps motivate me. And that's one of the reasons why, like, yes, I was having a bad day, and Shay's so sweet the next day was like, I didn't realize how bad of a day you had. Like, if you need a time to like step away and have a break, like just know I have your back and we'll still do the book club. And I'm like, and I was like, yeah, thank you, but it's more or less like I need that.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
I need when I'm having a down day, I need that interaction, and you guys completely fulfilled it. Like I was literally like crying maybe 30 minutes before we went on. So I was like,
Oh,
I literally washed my feet. That's actually what took so long. I was like, okay, I can't go in there looking like I just fucking like cried for hours. So
Yeah, we would all be so
like
turned off by that.
I know, right? Like I like washed
Mel.
my face, new shirt on, like I brushed my teeth even. I was like, I'm getting
Mhm.
ready for this battle.
Aw.
And then no, but it
Yes.
helped because then like you guys cheered me up. We were talking. I felt so much better. And then once we were done, like I went and saw a movie with Dill. And then
Yeah.
that really helped my mindset. So, and we've heard that a few times actually from other folks on the podcast, on the book club, that it's helped their just overall mental health, just like people that
Yes.
are dealing with kids all day or dealing with teaching people all
Or
day,
work or
whatever, and it's like, oh no, it's really helping people even more than just a book. It's actually doing a lot more than what we expected. So
Yeah.
if you're listening to this and you want community and you want to just have fun with us, read a book, you'll get part of the Benchy group. You'll get episodes early. You're actually, because you're a Benchy, then now you get to go to JBY and have some discounts there of free brunch like always.
Mhm.
And I'm going to be announcing, so I think this is going to come out in September, so it's not a problem. So basically, JVY 2027 is April 24th of 2027, and we're bringing it home. I'm literally just going to call it the homecoming, and it's going to be in Oregon. We're going to be in Ashland, Oregon. We're having you guys fly into Medford. So we're bringing it back,
Amazing.
guys, and we already have the venue, and it's beautiful.
I'm
So
Yay.
excited.
I'm
Is Heather
excited.
excited?
I'm excited. We're gonna take a train out.
Oh,
Really?
that would be rad.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna take a train out for sure. We've been talking about going out to the Pacific Northwest, taking a train out. We'll totally do that.
How
Um,
cool.
but I have to say one thing I really, really love about our book club is it's like hanging out with your best friends and having basically for women like having a girls' night. It's like you get
Yeah.
the
Plus Frank
semi-group
and Dylan.
therapy session, but you get so many different perspectives. It's so oh okay, sorry about that. We're good.
We still have you.
Perfect. It's such an open forum where there's no judgment. You know, we're all there to just hang out with each other. It's so cool. I don't have many friends that are close by, so it really means a lot to be able to have that space on a regular basis.
Yeah, because like I've noticed a lot of my friends aren't in the same state as me. So it's like, shit, how do we connect? Oh, book
Mhm.
club, cool. We're doing the weekly shoot. Awesome.
Yes.
Like the
Yes.
Thursday night melon filters. Cause it's like, how do we stay connected without having to be physically there? Because a lot of my friends are on the East Coast. A lot of them
Mhm.
are in the middle of America. Like I
Yep.
just, Shay even is 3 hours away. It's not like I can just go to her house whenever I feel like it. Like
Yeah.
we have to strategically plan everything. So I love these because I feel that connection every week. And I think that's kind of the things that we miss from school.
Totally.
Because
Yeah.
we're around each other all the time, like Mel
Yes.
Robbins talked about. And
Yes.
now we're not. Like, how do we feed that beast without like going to extreme circumstances with it? So,
Mhm.
well, guys, I think we'll go ahead and wrap here. Thank you so much for joining, Heather. Sorry, Cheryl, that your stuff was not working.
She probably just wanted to read.
I know.
She was like, I'm out to read.
She's like, I'm done.
Yes. Yes.
This phone sucks. I'm just gonna read now, which she probably did.
We fully support.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
I mean, that's how I get my laundry done now. I'm listening and getting
Yeah.
all my laundry not just done, but like put away.
Yeah, because you want to keep listening.
Yeah.
So you want to keep doing it. That's how I
Doing all the chores
Yep.
like that. My house is super clean on Sundays and Mondays.
Uh-huh.
Because that's actually what I literally read and listen on Sundays and Mondays because our group is on Tuesdays. So I like to be like super fresh for it. So yeah, come join us. It's on patreon.com/OSLP. There's tons of benefits over there. But this is definitely one you don't want to miss because we're not stopping by any means. So come
We have
join.
a lot of books to get through.
We have so many books, and the fact that we're reading one every 2 months, like we're gonna be here for a hot minute. So I'm very excited. Well, thank you, Heather, for taking time out of your day, and Shay, thank you for staying longer so we could do this.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, until next time, guys, get your water, eat your food, take your vitamins. They're literally right behind me. And guess what? Don't be an asshole to one another.
Yeah. Please.
Right? Please, right?